it for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche And after 22 years, Raymond Mark!
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here in the Sick Podcast Network. I am Jimmy Murphy. My co-host Pierre McGuire might be able to join us later. If not, though, he apologizes. He had a prior engagement to take care of. But of course, this is Friday and On Campus Friday. And thanks to everyone, all our viewers and listeners, for a great week of our live show out there. And of course, this is pre-recorded. So if you're watching this now, the reason we're not answering your questions is because we're not there. This was recorded this morning on Friday morning, as we always do with On Campus. And let's get right to it and bring on our guest right now. St. Lawrence women's hockey coach Chris Wells joining us here. Coach, how you doing?
Oh, good. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for having us on, and hopefully Pierre can get here and join the fun.
A pleasure. And Pierre actually told me that he was at St. Lawrence when you were playing there.
Yeah, 2 years. My first 2 years, he came in. Mark Morris got the job at Clarkson, and Donnie Vaughn went down to Cornell as an assistant. They were the two assistant coaches for that 1988 team that went to the NCAA finals against Lake State up in Lake Placid. And so PJ Flanagan and Pierre came in my freshman year, and PJ was there forever, and Pierre was there for 2 years, and on to the greatness that he has had.
Yeah, exactly. Small world, huh? And I was doing a little research on you before, and I saw that you were part of that ECAC champion team in 1992, right?
Yeah. I obviously had a lot of success. Had some great players with, Danny LaPerriere, the Lappin brothers. We got some great goaltender from Paul Spagnoletti that year in the net. Certainly led by Joe Marsh, who has done such a fabulous job at St. Lawrence and kind of taught all of us that are still in the coaching world there's more than the game, and treat the kids well and enjoy it while you're here.
It's interesting too. The women's are going to be at Lake Placid this year, which is a great thing. And Pierre and I are going to be broadcasting up there, podcasting for the days leading into the tournament. But just how excited are you, and just not just for your players and yourself, but just for women's hockey in the ECAC to have that at Lake Placid this year?
Certainly for us being an hour and a half away, and for our fans to be able to drive up and back in a day makes it easy. Just the history of Lake Placid. Growing up in Canton and being around the area and the Olympics and in 80, and then certainly with the men's tournament being up there and being part of the men's program for a while it was there, and then just watching it grow up there has been great. And to have a neutral site, I think, is the next big step for our league and women's hockey, to be able to have that up there. And Orda and Chad Cassidy are going to do a great job promoting it.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. Like last year was my first time. I went up there and we did the same thing for the men's, and it's my first time being there. And you can hear all the stories, you can hear everything about the mystique and everything that's there, but you don't really know it till you get there. And I'll tell you, I mean, I'm not trying to be cheesy or corny or anything. Like when you walk out and you walk through the center of town there, and then you go to the ring, you feel hockey in the air, don't you?
Yeah, no doubt. And I think the greatest testament is the guys who are affiliated with women's hockey, Mark Johnson and Harrington, and they love going back, and it doesn't change. I was sitting next to Mark Johnson at the U.S. Canada event last year in August, and I looked at him. I said, "Does it ever get old?" He goes, "Why would it?" It's one of the greatest moments in sports history, and I love coming back, and all the guys love coming back. So they just did a big thing. Like a reenactment with some audio visual, and I think Craig and Johnson and Aruzioni were back, and it just continues on. It's just a great story, and the vibe of Lake Placid is great for hockey. We've been up there, played a couple of games. We're actually going to be playing some non-conference games up there next year at Thanksgiving.
Oh, cool. Nice.
They're our players are pretty excited to get up there and play, and hopefully get a few bounces down the road here over the next 5 weeks, and we'll be up there the first week of March playing.
Yeah, we'll have to have you down to the Lake Placid Brewery. We'll be broadcasting live from there. I love that place. So looking forward to that, and big thanks to Doug Christensen for helping to make that happen. Let's talk. We like to, when we have a college coach on, we like to kind of get your background, how you got into coaching, and I find it really unique that you started off in men's and went over to women. So why don't you just sort of take us through that track, how it led to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, played for Joe and Joe Marsh, and kind of always knew I wanted to get into coaching. I think as my career started to wind down, played overseas in France and England for a year each, got it out of the system. Donnie Vaughn had the job down at Colgate, and a spot opened up, and he offered me the position. And back in the day, I mean, I just wanted to coach. It was restricted earnings, making 12 grand, and no insurance, no retirement, no nothing. It was one of the best jobs to get started with. And started at Colgate for 4 years, went out to Western Michigan with Billy Wilkinson for a year. And then, PJ Flanagan, who had been our high school coach at Canton High School, playing there. He used to pick me up for practice in the morning. We used to practice. The only rink in Canton was the Appleton, the Greg. So the high school team practiced at 5:30, and PJ asked me to be on the team as a freshman, and my mom and dad were like, "Well, if you want him practicing at 5:30, you're picking him up." So PJ used to pick me up to practice when I was a freshman. So PJ ended up, he was a coach in the men's program from 92 to 99, and then he took over the women's program. And I moved back. My wife and I moved back from Kalamazoo to take PJ's spot with Joe for 9 years. And then PJ went to Syracuse, and I just kind of walked down the hall and took over the women's program and the staff that was in place with Ted Wisner and Mayor McDougal-Barry, and we've been together 18 years since. It's been a great transition for our family. Certainly a great staff to work with. We have a lot of continuity, a lot of consistency, and have really enjoyed watching the women's game grow as it has since, even 99 when PJ took over, and 08 when I started to get into it. It's just been fabulous to see, and certainly the PWHL now has taken it to another level. Just the seriousness, the enthusiasm, the hopeful eyes, the future of everybody that's coming to college. They all want to play. They, watch a game down in Washington, D.C., who you would think would never draw what they did. I mean, I was shocked. I think the takeover tours have averaged anywhere from 9,000 to 11,000 this year. Right. And to watch D.C. hit it at a sold out 17,000 is just great. So, something for our players to shoot for. And then the spillover leagues have been good too. The SDHL has taken on a lot of players, and certainly expansion coming is exciting. But that's kind of my story. I've stayed there, born and raised in Canton. Mom was a nurse at St. Lawrence. Dad was a professor for 45 years, and we're back home, been able to raise our kids in Canton. 2 of them went to St. Lawrence, and one's a senior down at Davidson, and got one in the coaching world, coaching women's lacrosse, and awesome. One doing what I did, he's over in Australia, just kind of running out some time until he gets a good job playing lacrosse. And like I said, our seniors down at Davidson finishing things up.
How about when you took over, you mentioned just the growth. What lured you to women's hockey at the time? And did you envision it going this far in I won't say a short span, but a decent span?
Yeah, I mean, I think I jumped in kind of right when it went kind of exponentially. And, teams like Quinnipiac, BU was really just kind of getting started with Brian DeRocher, and they got Poulin, and obviously that took their program to the next level. And then, more teams started coming in, more teams started putting more money into the programs. And so it's been great. It's been, in our league now, every night is, as cliche as it is, every night's a night, and you got to be ready to go. And just the growth of watching the young girls play, and some of the best games to watch are the U14 games at the national level when you go in April and March at the because they're just playing. They love playing. They're doing the Michigans. They're doing the toe talks. I mean, they're doing everything that everybody did at 5 years old. I mean, that's what they've seen. They've been able to do it. And you're starting to see some real good highlight reel goals and ESPN plays from women's hockey. And, it's been fun watching it. It's fun to be a part of. The coaching is getting better and better. I mean, you got to recruit recruit daily or die, as Greg Drexel told me the first time I got started at Colgate. He's a Colgate alum, and he told me, he goes, RDO, D. Wellesley. And I was like, what's that? Recruit daily or die. And, we got one of the best recruiters here, Ted Wisner, and he's been able to, find the talent and bring everybody in. And then they're able to kind of come in and do an environment at St. Lawrence where they get to go to college and probably experience college more than any other program that plays at our level as much as they can, and still play at the level that we play at.
What you talk about recruiting there too. And I was wondering, as the professional leagues have come in, and now we have, as you said, sort of stability, a league that everybody is believing in, and you can see it's got a future. How has that changed the recruiting scene? Are you seeing, you're talking about recruiting or die. Have you seen more schools, more competition on the road, recruiting, chasing the same players than you did before?
Yeah, I mean, I think the recruiting landscape for us has stayed the same in terms of where we're getting our players from and the type that are attracted to St. Lawrence. To your point, Jimmy, the conversation has changed of development. Where am I going to go to develop? How can I develop at St. Lawrence? How can I develop at this school? Or if they feel like they're not developing at another school, you're having that conversation with them in March because they've entered the transfer portal. How I don't feel like I was developing here. What things at St. Lawrence are going to help me develop? And those kids are having the same conversations with every other school if it's not St. Lawrence. So that's been a big part of the process. Maybe not so much the recruiting. I feel like we're still recruiting in the same bubble, same kids competing against the same schools for the players to be able to play at the level that we want to play at. But, the coaching and the accountability of, hey, I want to play at the next level and we want to help you get to the next level. These are the things. And we've been fortunate. We've had a number of players here recently that have been able to go on and play significant roles in the PWHL. And, we'll be playing in the Olympics here in a couple of weeks. And they quickly have sent word down to the coaching staff and the players. Hey, these are the things that, we did at St. Lawrence that are really helping us out. And here are the things that we didn't do at St. Lawrence.
Oh, that's cool.
We should be doing. Great. So, some of the things that we haven't been doing, we're hopefully starting to employ in our practices and our development to help our players get to the next level. Much like the NHL, I mean, there's 8 teams and, there's a lot of players playing. So it's still going to be tough to get in there. Expansion will be good, but it's still going to be hard to play in that league.
And what's the dynamic and the relationship been like between college coaches and coaches in the PWHL as well, in terms of, getting the skinny on a player, so to speak?
Yeah. I mean, there's still enough connectivity with the PWHL coaches, GMs that have a college background. So those conversations are real easy. Right now it's easy. If Greg Vago calls from the Sirens, he's seen our players, but we can compare our players to kids he coached and players he coached, athletes he coached at Colgate and in our league to give him a good idea of where we feel that they would stack up. We have some other coaches and assistant coaches that have been through college. So those conversations are seamless. Have a nice relationship with the Ottawa group. Mike comes down and chats with us, at least once a year. And to be able to have those open conversations, I feel helps our kids out. And our kids love, the athletes love seeing, a PWHL walk through the lounge and sit in the coach's office. That's reality. That puts a little rubber to the road that the stuff really is going on.
Yeah. It's interesting too. And I'm wondering if you've sort of see if it was always this way or you've seen it get even more so. We were just over in Belfast for the friendship series there. And I had Maeve Kelly, defenseman for BU, on the podcast with me. And she said something I thought was so cool and just shows how far women's hockey has become. She said, look, I never envisioned a couple of years, even like 3 years ago, that I would have, little girls in elementary school or junior high school looking up to me like the way boys look up to a pro player in the NHL. And she said to feel that responsibility and that position is something I'm so proud of. Do you see that with your players as well now?
Yeah, and no doubt. I mean, the connectivity in the community up in the North Country, and it Canton and Potsdam having Clarkson 10 miles down the road creates an automatic rivalry. But having two Division I universities that have played at the highest level, who are going to have Olympians, PWHL players over the last 10 years, the community and the young girls who have grown up, even the young boys, we walk out through the lobby out on the ice, and there's a wall full of young kids giving our kids fist bumps on the way out and the way back in. And
that's great.
The women have a much I'm not going to say the men don't, but they're just much more openness to have conversations and do different things during the game time. I mean, we'll have kids come into the locker room in between periods and get autographs and give high fives and take the team picture, teams that are visiting. So it's great. They love doing it. And like, Maeve had said, it's awesome to have young people looking up to you. It makes you feel good, and it brings more people to the game. And obviously we love playing in front of as many people as we can. And BU's got it going pretty good here the last couple of years, and they're doing a good thing. And to be able to get as many people in the building is what we want to try to do. And that connectivity, I think, with all the athletes to the younger generation has a big part of that.
Well, I know you got a game to prepare for as we record this. You're getting ready to play Harvard on Friday night. I'm thinking, Coach, you look, they're coming off a Beanpot win there. So maybe you got the letdown effect going there. You might have to jump on that early, huh?
Well, I mean, every game's a game. We had a tough one on Tuesday night. So it's going to be good to get right back up on the horse, as they say, to play the game. The games against Harvard the last couple of years have been great. Laura's done a nice job getting them back here over the last couple of years. And we all know how important the Beanpot is, as much as we can, not being Boston people. I know it's sacred, but non-Boston people do understand how big the Beanpot is. So we know how big that is for the program. Certainly, what's happened there the last couple of years to be able to win the Beanpot and in the fashion that they did. It's great for the league, as it's the only ECAC team in the league, so we got a 25% chance of hitting the number every year. So we hit the jackpot as the league this year. So that's certainly great for the league, but real good for Harvard. We know what to expect with them tonight. They're big, physical, work hard. We're young, maybe not overly physical. Our goaltending's been great this year. Harvard's goaltending has been great. Tuffy's been playing fabulous. So we'll have to try to solve that. The team that hasn't scored a lot of goals as we're working through. But I was just sitting down with breakfast with my good friend Jamie Rice here. He popped over, the Babson coach. I don't know if you've had him on the podcast.
I haven't. I know him.
Yeah, he'd be great to have on the. They don't make him like Ricer anymore. I mean, he is as old school as Teddy Wisner said today after we had coffee. They don't make them like that anymore. But talking to Ricer, just saying, we've driven the ball in the fairway, we've got it on the green, and we've put it in the hole. We just got to do it, all of it within the 18 holes. So all the pieces of success have shown their head for our team this year, a younger team, and the goal is to try to get that all in one place here as we head down the last month of the season.
Awesome. Well, listen, best of luck. Have fun. And hopefully I will be seeing you up in Lake Placid soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jimmy. Say hi to Pierre.
I will. All right. That's Coach Chris Wells of St. Lawrence University joining us here on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network in our latest edition of On Campus Friday. And, before I get into our sponsors and my picks, I had to bring that up about Maeve Kelly because it's amazing to think how far the game has come when, these women players now are feeling like the men have felt for so long when they're the idols of kids, of young girls growing up, wanting to be like them. And they're providing the reality to those kids, to those young girls, that could be them. They didn't have that, for so long. I mean, women's hockey's always been great in college and at other levels, but for these young girls to actually say, my dream can come true, and that can be me, it's a pretty cool thing. And it's a huge responsibility for the women hockey players that are playing now in the professional level. So I thought that needed to be mentioned there. And great interview with Chris there. Thanks to him for coming on. So let's get right to our sponsors here. Of course, Vago Italian. Look, we tell you about them all the time. I cannot wait to get back up to Montreal and have a meal over there. Looking really forward to it because they combine old world classics and new Italian dishes for over 23 years. They've got private dining rooms for any occasion. They're open Monday to Saturday evenings and lunch from Tuesday to Friday. They are located at 1336 Green Avenue in the Westmount borough of Montreal. For reservations, call 514-846-1414. Again, that's 514-846-1414. And of course, our wonderful sponsors over at Betway, where you can still go all the way with Betway and bet those beauties. If you haven't signed up yet, I hope you have, and this is a moot point. We've got a great new membership deal going. You can still get up to $300 back on your first deposit, even if you lose your first bet. So get over there right now. If you're watching right now, you just go to that QR code in front of you, or if you're just listening, go to the website when you have a chance. Go to the members section, fill out your details there to get that wonderful new member deal. You must be 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Always bet responsibly. And remember, this deal is not available in Ontario yet. As I do every Friday, I'll give you some college picks. I'm going to mix in a few pro picks as well. And since I know we got some football fans out there, I'm going to throw you my picks for the conference championships. But let's start in college hockey, where Providence, coming off a sweep of Boston College, a home-and-home sweep of Boston College last weekend. They're right down the street from where I am right now in Providence. They'll be hosting BU tonight at Schneider Arena. They are slight underdog. It's more of a pick 'em. I've seen like 3 different values bouncing up and down. It's changed a lot actually since this morning. Right now, Providence is at minus 105. So it's basically a pick 'em when it comes to the value on there. I like Providence down on the money line, minus 105 to beat BU. Minnesota Duluth is hosting Western Michigan, the defending national champions. They are underdogs there, slight underdogs, not too much. I like them to pull off the upset at plus 124. And then we head out to Wisconsin, where they are hosting Gavin McKenna and the Penn State Nittany Lions. I like Wisconsin to get the win there on the money line at minus 115. As for the pros, look, we got to talk about, as I record this, it hasn't happened yet. I don't know if you're going to be watching it Saturday or Sunday, but if you watch this on Friday when we normally air it for, it will still be fresh. The Vegas Golden Knights are in Toronto, and that means Mitch Marner makes his return to Toronto. And I got a feeling, if you watch, I watched it closely, the Bruins and Golden Knights game last night, which the Bruins won 4-3, but the Bruins went up 4-0. Vegas almost pulled off the comeback. But it clearly looked to me like the Golden Knights, specifically, obviously, Mitch Marner, were looking ahead to his return to Toronto since leaving over the summer. Look, for you Leafs fans watching this right now, you can do whatever. I'm not going to tell you. You do whatever you feel like. You pay enough money to get in the door there and voice your opinion on the game, players, what have you. But try and keep it within the boundaries of respect. Like, I don't know. Mitch Marner did a pretty good job for you in Toronto. I think the initial, when they do the tribute on the screen, I think he deserves an ovation there. This is just my opinion. I'm not telling you what to do. I think he deserves a solid ovation there. And then boo the hell out of him every time he touches a puck after that. I get that. And you can keep doing that for the rest of eternity if you want, every time he comes to Toronto. I saw it done in Boston or in Montreal when former players come back. That's just the way it is. It's fun. I get it. It makes for a better rivalry. So listen, I think he deserves an ovation there. I also think that this game is going to overtime. I think you're in for a great game. The Leafs need a win. The Golden Knights want to bounce back after last night. They need a big win. So give me the draw at plus 310 for the Vegas Golden Knights in Mitch Marner's return in Toronto against the Maple Leafs. And like I said, I've got some picks for the NFL, the conference championships. I know we're a hockey show, but we've got plenty of football fans here, and I know some Patriots fans as well. The New England Patriots, who you know I cheer for, are in Denver. They've never won a playoff game in Denver, but they've also never faced a backup quarterback in Denver in a playoff game. They will do so as Mr. Stidham takes the reins for Bo Nix. Look, I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. And I think that Stidham will do all right because he's got some motivation. He played for the Patriots, and he wants to show that he's not just some typical backup. He wants to come in and try and help this team make the Super Bowl. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think when all is said and done, I like the Patriots. I don't like the spread, though. I think it comes down to a field goal. That's how close I think Stidham could come to beating the Broncos. So give me the Broncos at plus 4.5 to cover the points. This is coming from a Patriots fan. And I also like the under 42.5. And then over in the NFC, the LA Rams are in Seattle. I like the Rams to win. They're plus 120 underdogs. Give me the Rams to head on to the Super Bowl. And we'll get a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl rematch of 2019, I believe it was. Yeah. So a rematch there. This will be the third time, actually, they played each other in the Super Bowl. The Patriots are 2-0. If that happens, this will be the third time. All right. Well, listen, thanks to Juliana for working the boards up in Montreal. Thanks to all our viewers and listeners. Thanks for a great week. And we will talk to you here on Monday on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.